Hello Connective, welcome back. If you're new to my channel, welcome. If you don't know how I work, I put a bunch of different cards on the table from different decks that tell a story and we talk about it. If you like the content on this channel, feel free to subscribe. Don't smash anything. And with that being said, let's get into this energy. So this is a general reading for Aries. Aries, we're gonna get, I think, we're moving them around a little bit. Probably have to do the same for the other decks, but as soon as we can, I'm just gonna, try to get all the cards on the table so that we can talk about it. So, Aquarius just got that card that's facing me. It's very interesting that the other cards are not facing me. Let's see what else we got here. The energy oracle cards. Let's see if they want to talk anymore. I don't know how many cards this is. Yeah. Okay, there's another one. Oh, two that are on the floor. Oh, three on the floor. I can't tell what that is. All right. I was going to say, let's go through it one more. Let's see, we should have stopped before. Aries, I'm sorry. We let the broken heart out. Let's see what's going on. It is upside down. Let's see. We got, okay. We have the Angel of Balance. Okay, I couldn't tell if this was a good card or a bad card. We're going to put that up here. We don't know what else we have. Oh. What? Okay. Let's do this how we would normally do this. Yeah. Sorry. Let's see what else is going on here. Okay, so this would be second chakra, Archangel Ariel. Second chakra is like, the passion, and then we have the Angel of Balance. All right. Then we have the man holding a coin. Okay, it could be a man, could be a woman. He could be holding anything. Doesn't have to be a coin. So we like blossoming abundance. We're going to put this down here, right? And then, wow. Okay, so, yeah, we're going to have to turn this card around. Okay, so we have the Broken Heart card. Put that up here. Hostilities. Our all-time fave. Deceit. Came out for Aquarius. Or was it? Somebody got deceit. Yeah, it was deceit for Aquarius. Somebody got envy, which they look similar, but deceit was the more sinister looking card. We have attachment. Okay. And we have anxiety. And we have walking away. We have this hole here on our good side. I mean, I suppose that, walking away could be a good thing, could be on the good side. It's possible that, attachment might even be on the good side depending on what it is, although this card doesn't look... Well, actually, it doesn't look extremely sinister. I think anxiety looks sinister because nobody likes anxiety. It's kind of like, what? I don't want to be that person, right? Let's see. See what Alice has to say. Technically, we can just fill this hole with this angel right here. Let's see what's going on. For some reason, I want to put him higher than her. Yeah, something like that. We have blossoming abundance. Not everybody gets blossoming abundance. I don't care if broken heart's on the table or not. Sometimes that's the past and this abundance is the future. So, we don't have to freak out every time we see a card that looks like this group of cards over here on the right. Again, walking away isn't necessarily bad. Usually it denotes an ending that, people didn't necessarily want to happen, that they kind of have to get over, or the act of walking away from the thing, the relationship they didn't want to happen. And the actual act of walking away a lot of times can cause people anxiety. This looks like this might be more than one person's energy here, this side. Oh, yeah. Or at least like a, it's almost like this person is one person and this person is another person, or like this is stages of something that happened, or like, you know, stages of something that happened. And this side is usually like either people or something that is in our lives, or something that we're working towards, looking forward to, something like that. So I would say, like, you know, the angel and the man holding the coin, again, could be man, could be a woman, angel, could be man or woman, doesn't matter. You know, the angel balance, same thing. So like basically 3 people on the table, and then we have blossoming abundance. What's Alice here to tell us? You're on clock time. So divine timing, you can't go back to yesterday, so something's ending, we gotta let it end. And all must have prizes. Oh, trying to please everyone. See her there with the booby prize? Yeah, we're gonna talk about that. Okay. Yeah. Well, Aries, I'm reading this as you're the person that's walking away. Might have even been like a relationship that, or a situation that you were passionate about. And you either already walked away or you're going to. Might even be walking away from money. It could be quitting a job. Yeah. Because you've been getting crap. It looks like in the past you might have had something. You might be comparing what you have now to what you had, or you might just be aiming towards something that you feel is balanced and like weighing it against the past. Somebody was deceitful. Somebody, you know, either had a broken heart or got a broken heart. And I just really read that in the beginning, like somebody was attached to being hostile, gave them power or something. Again, that could be a work situation. It doesn't have to be, no. Well, shoot. I think we just got one extra on the table. All right. You know what? We're going to keep them. All right. Let me get the one on the floor. All right. So there's some other signs involved here. We have last quarter moon in Cancer. Take a breather. Oh, yeah. 2 extras. All right. Yeah. New moon in Scorpio. Go deeper. Okay. Last quarter moon in Taurus. Be proud of yourself. Seen this one before. New moon in Pisces. Attuned to the divine. So asking yourself, asking within, asking a higher power. And first quarter moon in Taurus. Release control. All right. So you have Scorpio, Cancer, Taurus, and Pisces. Yeah, what is our blind spot? So mostly already walking away. If this is your story, you have a memory of actually walking away. If you think this is your story, but you haven't actually walked away yet, or it hadn't occurred to you or anything like that, this reading is probably going to be definitely from the point of view of like having already walked away. So it's not on the table quite yet, but if you haven't walked away, if you know you need to and you haven't done it yet, you know, this, what's on the table right now during the time of this reading isn't necessarily, you know, a depiction of how much pain you can go through depending on how long you stay in this thing. So, you know, just know that if I suggest this is mild, you know, and then you stay in it too long and it's not mild, it could be because, you know, this was your like time to have a thought process if you wanted to get out of it or not. Walking away, I mean, it's up there. Broken heart, it's up there. You know, deceit's up there. Attachment, hostilities, anxiety. This is all stuff that I would like for you to not have to experience if you could help it. Which means you have to like usually learn the lesson. You can't go back to yesterday as a lesson. Almost have prizes isn't necessarily a lesson, except it is like, it literally is the booby prize. Like when you're, you know, when there's like a white, you know, everybody has a different term for it, but like during Christmas or whatever, sometimes if like an office has like a gift exchange, they'll have like the joke gift exchanges. That's that card. That's that, you know, I got this because everybody has to win something, right? You know, it's almost like that, you know, can I give this to somebody else? No, I'm actually too embarrassed kind of thing. All right, what have we got? Is there a card turned over? No. Okay. What is this? Card number 37. Let's see what our blind spot is in this whole thing. Chances are, again, that we've either walked away or we've already made a decision to walk away at the time of this reading. So what don't we see? Wishing and willing harm. Really? Yes. Yes, Pam, really. Aries. Wishing and willing harm, attachment to hostilities, deceit, and the heartbreaker card. It's like this card, this go deeper card that doesn't want to be picked up. It's like it's like kind of like being shallow. Am I actually doing a reading for somebody who is the aggressor? Or what? Is this like cross-watcher energy? Are we doing it from a point of view of like Taurus or Cancer or Scorpio or Pisces? Maybe. I watched a reading that was like that, where it was like my reading, but it was done from like the cross-watcher's point of view. And I mean like from their point of view. I'm thinking we should go in that direction here, although usually I talk the reverse, so I'm just trying to like decide. Aries. Wishing and willing harm. Well, okay, let's start with this like we always do. Now, nobody ever said that there was necessarily other people involved, right? This could just be you know, passionate about something, maybe even like I said, already out of a relationship. There's no other person there, you know, and you might even be like a well-balanced, you know, individual kind of thing, and maybe even got, you know, the shit end of the stick, right? And you might even be a little nostalgic because, you know, you had that person and now you don't, and you can kind of, you know, there's some kind of clock ticking, either the amount of time that went by, meaning either a little bit, so you're still in this, or a lot, so meaning a long time ago, but there's regret, right? You don't really, you're not proud of yourself at this point, even though you probably should be. And, you know, this is also telling you to kind of attune to the divine, which a lot of times to me, that means like look within, but also, you know, like to a higher source, like either your higher self or your angels, your guides, your ancestors, especially if you're in a situation where you can't see like what's supposed to be going on, but it's maybe down deep, you know. This is telling you to take a breather. So like just almost kind of clear your mind. This one says release control. So you have to kind of like look at it from a different angle, do it a different way. Especially if you're used to like plowing through everything, because it's not really going to help you out, right? And then just thinking about it and being worried about it isn't going to help you either, right? And so a lot of times what'll happen is we'll self-sabotage by thinking about things in a way that either is negative towards us, because we truly feel like that's always what happens to us, the negative thing, or we just speak negatively to ourselves, because we're either replaying somebody else's recording, or just because that's maybe truly how we feel about ourselves. We just tell ourselves that, you know, we're not really worth anything, and we don't really have anything, and, you know, there's, you know, again, not worth anything, you know, we just don't have anything going for us, or we're imbalanced, you know, whatever. You know, maybe we're a mess, or whatever else we want to tell ourselves that may or may not be true. You know, most of the time it's not true. We're just wishing harm or willing harm, you know, either way. I mean, we're kind of we're like lowering our self-worth, and then we're telling ourselves that that's what we deserve, like what somebody of that lower self-worth would deserve. In other words, again, attachment to hostilities, right? Lying ourselves into believing that we're just worthless, right? Which is going to cause, it's going to spill out into other areas of our life. Even if we think that we have control of the situation, we only make ourselves feel bad about this. That's BS. Yeah. It spills over into other areas. You're programming yourself. If you're not an expert at it, chances are it's affecting you in other places that you don't realize. So that is, to me, like willing harm on yourself. Now, wishing harm on yourself is kind of a different thing. I think more of, again, it kind of goes with the self-worth of, well, it doesn't even have to be like you were bad and now you need to be punished. It's just kind of more like if you do get punished, you kind of acknowledge it as deserved kind of thing. So not necessarily saying that you need to be punished, but when you are punished, like taking it on as yours, which I would consider to be still like a negative self-talk or treating yourself negatively, yeah, because it's causing you pain, even if you tell yourself it's not. Okay, so that's the first thing. And you definitely could be that person, Aries. You could definitely be that person, or you could, you know, again, you could be a Taurus, Scorpio, Cancer, or Pisces. That's that person. So there's that. So if that's the case, then you need to walk away from that. If you're that person who does that, then in however way, there's probably ways that somebody could come up with that I haven't actually thought of. So in whatever way, if you're doing that to yourself, you do need to walk away from that. You need to actually really take it. This is telling me that you really need to take a look. This is telling me that you really need to take a look and figure out what it is that you got from this that you didn't want. Realize that you can't go back to yesterday and get what you want. Just let it go, right? Be proud that you got out of it. And if you do need guidance, attune to the divine. If you're anxious about it, you know, you can ask, like I said, your angels, guides, and ancestors. A lot of times if you're asking your higher self, you'll get the answer and an idea. You could just be, I've said it before, you could just be meditating and get the answer and an idea, you know? So, again, first scenario, again, still don't do that. It does bring all these things, even if you don't think so, it does. The hostilities, yeah, you're bringing it if you're doing that. Now, Aries, if you're a person who should be an angel, but is wishing or willing harm on others, I'm just going to tell you right now, first of all, A, that's not balance. And B, what would happen is eventually that's going to circle back and that's going to hit you somewhere. Okay, just going to tell you. And you might even be regretful that you did that. Even if you didn't cast a spell on someone, you need to back off, right? You need to really, really think about what it is that you're trying to do. If you're throwing shade in someone else's direction, it might have something to do with the way you feel about yourself. You better figure that out, like I said, before whatever you send out bounces back and hits you in the face. Wishing and willing hostilities on others, the only thing that's going to get is you getting hostilities back. That's what do unto others is all about. Okay. So again, now we're back to talking about, lying to yourself, thinking that you can get away with hurting somebody else, and then being attached to hostilities. You must be, because you're going to keep getting it and getting it and getting it, and that's all the universe is going to know. It doesn't matter if you're stressed out about it or not. You hit somebody hard enough with some stupidity and it bounces back and hits you, you're going to wish you could go back to yesterday and take it back. You need to not do that. Walk away from that. Walk away from that. Walk away from that, Aries. If you don't know what I'm talking about, but what I said is hitting the nerves, something that you do or say to other people, just remember to go deeper. This card that doesn't want to be picked up. I'm telling you, the thing that you get back won't be the thing that you want. And even if you did get it, you'd only get it for a little while, and then you would get this. It just wouldn't even look like. That's what it would look like, and then you would be left with this. And you may not even attribute it to what you're giving out to other people, but it doesn't matter. Energy knows where it came from and what it was. It's going to bounce back. That's why you should always do the right thing. Your situation could get worse at any time depending on what you throw out to others, and you could be in the middle of some lesson that you set up for yourself that's horrible and then get some nasty energy that you tossed out in the universe. And when you go back and you look at that and see it for what it is, you're going to realize, oh wow, I didn't have to make it that hard on myself, right? You don't. So now we've talked about how if you are the person that's wishing or willing harm on others, or wishing or willing harm on yourselves, how basically almost the same effect is in play. I kind of almost want to say if you're wishing and willing, harm on yourself, that you're going to attract people who are wishing and willing harm on you too. So there's that. That's how people make the wrong friends, or people just have bad relationships and don't realize, things that they have to really just go inside and then learn how to walk away from because they don't understand what they're doing. That's, bringing this situations where they have to walk away. Most of the time too, I say that that's if you're smart. Because most people, they sit in it and they try to change that person that's being ridiculous, right? They go, well, I'll just give this person a little time to be ridiculous before I decide that they're not going to change, and then I'll tune to the divine. Because we want to believe. Honestly, even if we weren't in a spiritual awakening, but we were just trying to be better people, or we were just trying to be good people in general, we would get tired of other people trying to hold us back, especially people doing it on purpose. If we were in a situation and somebody was doing something and they're always wishing harm on us, not even because they really wanted us to experience harm, but just because they were competitive or some weirdness, right? Wouldn't you get tired of it? This is divine timing, which tells me that even if you didn't do anything, this thing would end on its own. It's one of those situations where you're supposed to have this, not this, or this. And this doesn't come with this, or this, right? So if you have this, that's why you're still looking at this. If you want to have this, you have to be able to look at this and see it for what it was, so that you don't want to take it with you, hang on to it, because you can't take it with you. You have to like let it go, let it go. There's no part of that you could take with you. You just need to be proud of yourself. You honestly just need to be proud of yourself. Realize that not everything that we get in relationships or at the Christmas party is a prize. You know, and you don't have to take it either. You don't have to accept it. You can accept it and get rid of it later if you want. But you don't have to accept what people give you if it's subpar. You know, it could be in the extended reading, and you know, the healing cards will tell us a little bit more, either about what we need to heal from, or just about what was happening, or maybe what we're doing to ourselves. This is a little bit like the other readings where I'm not really getting a clear picture on which one you are, right? But it doesn't really matter, because the answer would still be the same. As far as like what you needed to let go of. Like attachment just needs to be let go of altogether, but so does hostilities and deceit, right? And anxiety for anybody who's wishing harm on others or themselves. Wishing and willing harm on others and or themselves, right? It's hard to get to this if you're there, because I don't believe that the frequency is the same. You know, this is a lower frequency and this is a higher frequency. So I feel like if you're here, you might think you have this, but that's because you're thinking small, right? But like I said, maybe the healing cards will tell us a little bit more. The best thing that I can say, like I said, there will be an extended, the description will be in the link. The best that I can say to the people who aren't going to go to the extended with us is, especially if you're in a situation you haven't gotten out of it, or you thought about, like I said, you thought about walking away but you haven't done it yet, you know, this is probably the most important card on the table for you, is, you know, attuned to the divine. You can always ask within what you should do. A lot of times with these types of situations, they're a little bit heavier than they want to be. Usually that's because, or they should be, I was going to say, that's weird, but it's because the other person involved is like extra. And this may or may not be your case, but, you know, because we do have angel imbalance on the table, which usually that means there is balance. But I also see you can't go back to yesterday. And so I kind of just felt like maybe you knew what balance was from your past. You're comparing the situation to it, but the situation that you're in is not balanced. That's how I was reading that. You still need to be proud of yourself. And the only other really good advice, you know, besides realizing that yesterday isn't going to help you out either, is remember to you know, pay attention to what you're getting from this. Pay attention to like what people offer you, what, you know, anything like that. It could be somebody's going to offer you a booby prize on the way out the door, or somebody's already given you a booby prize and told you that it was the grand prize. You know, either way, again, if you have this angel imbalance in your past, you already know that that's BS, right? You know, you just know. You know, don't feel bad about it. That's somebody else. That's somebody else's reaching out to you. That's not what you offer other people. And don't take that on as your self-worth either. I mean, this is all like go deeper, release control, take a breather, be proud of yourself. It's not your fault. That's part of the other reason why you almost have to do nothing to like get out of this. Most of it isn't yours. But like I said, if it is, or if part of it is, we'll hopefully get it from these cards, although they might just speak to the other person who's into this too. Either way, if this is your reading, Aries, meet us over at the extended. If not, until we meet again,